Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marisa Kazem, and in today's video, I'm going to be reading a rainbow of romance books. So I kind of had this idea for the summer that I would read 7 books that are colors of the rainbow. I thought that would be really fun. For me, summer is the time of year where I really read more romances. There's just something fun about a standalone, you read the romance book and you're done and then you move on with something else. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. We are starting off with Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I read Part of Your World by her pretty recently, and I really wanted to read this one next. And because this book was red, I was like, this is the perfect time to start this video. I'll start with red, and then we'll gradually go through orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. I might just do purple and pink. So I'll see how well I stick to the rainbow, but that's the theme of this video. Also, do you guys like my sweatshirt that says "In My Romance Era"? This is my own sweatshirt design, and I'm hoping by the time this video is up that this will be available on my Etsy shop. So check the link down below, and if for whatever reason the store is not live yet, check my Instagram, which will also be linked below because I'll have all the updates on there. Let's get started with our first read, Yours Truly. So it's been a couple days and I'm just about halfway through, and I am really enjoying this book so far. I actually think I'm liking it more than Part of Your World. I don't know what it is about like the tension between these two characters, but I'm just eating it up. And our main guy, Jacob, is so sweet. He has extreme anxiety. We're just seeing how he views every dating situation with her when it comes to his anxiety and just interacting with people, and it's like the sweetest thing to read about. Reading someone's perspective where they actually have severe anxiety that they need medication for is really interesting, and he's just so sweet and misunderstood, and our main character is finally understanding him, and I'm just like so happy with where this book is going. I might just get back to you guys when the book is over because I'm just dying to binge it now. It's the next day. I read quite a bit yesterday and quite a bit this morning as well. I don't have that much left, just this. I am really loving this book so far. It's very emotional and Jacob has my whole heart. I literally just want to give him a hug. But so far for the colors of the rainbow, the red book is a win, and I am hoping to finish it today. I did it! I finished Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. My god, this book was amazing. I finished it last night while watching the sunset and I got teary-eyed. The ending was beautiful. There were some moments in this book where I thought that there was some random drama for no reason, but like every detail was important. It related to Jacob's anxiety or Brianna's like problems in her past. Like this was just incredible. Jacob is also such an amazing book boyfriend. Like he's easily gone to one of the top on my list for book boyfriends. I just love this man so much. He's the kind of man where you can tell he was written by a woman, which I love. Right now, my rating is 5 stars. I don't know if maybe it would lower to like a 4.5 later on, but right now it is 5 stars. I love this book and I'm so excited to read the next one. Now I get to show you guys the next book I'm reading, and that is going to be Drunk on Love by Jasmine Guillory. I've been wanting to read this book for so long. So this book is about Margot and her brother run a winery in Napa Valley, and Margot meets this guy named Luke and has a spicy night with him. And then the next morning she sees that Luke is the newest hire at the winery. It just sounds so good, and I've never read anything by her before, so I'm really excited. So for the color orange, let's start reading. Time for an update. I am on page 141, and I read this all in one sitting just now, which is kind of crazy. And she's cute, but I'm not really feeling the characters. It's a really cute story. The characters are funny. I love their banter. I love the side characters as well. There's like funny things going on, so it's cute. I think I was just expecting a little bit more from it though. I don't really know how to explain it, but the back of the book made it seem like his problems with work was a little more serious and that it'd be more of a plot line. But I would say this is the kind of romance that's purely lust and romance, and the side plot, like their lives and everything, is very minor. It's not important to the story at all, which is fine. There are definitely romance books like that. Maybe it'll get more serious later. Okay, so I have a bit of an update with this book. I did get to page 144, but I am going to be DNFing it. I'm really bummed about DNFing it because I really wanted to enjoy this book. It's set at a vineyard, it's supposed to be really sweet and romantic, and unfortunately it just wasn't that for me. My main problem with this book is that the entire thing is just lust-based. Like, it didn't feel as if they were falling in love at any point. It was just purely physical attraction, which I know is a trope and some people like that, but for me, I do need a bit more depth. Also, I was really struggling with the writing style of this book. I don't really know how to explain how the writing style frustrated me, but basically it wasn't descriptive at all. Like, for example, this line says, Margot smiled at Taylor and then at him. Luke laughed. Elliot perked up. On the way back to the winery building, Elliot walked with P and Margot and Luke walked behind them. Basically, it was just like the sentences were so short and abrupt and not descriptive at all. I guess this book just felt very much like he said this, she said that, he went here, and then we went here. And it's just like not enough flowery writing. That's where I'm at with this one. I am gonna DNF it. So for the colors of the rainbow, orange was not a hit, unfortunately, but we're gonna move on to yellow. And for yellow, I picked This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. I am already 40 pages into this one, and so far it's okay. It really feels like barely anything has happened, so I guess we'll just see. I'm already annoyed at our main character. I feel like that's the theme with Carly Fortune books, even though I've only read one, which was Every Summer After, so we're just gonna see what happens. Anyway, I am gonna go read some more, and I will keep you guys updated. Alright, update on the yellow book. I am on page 121, and I hate that I'm saying this, but I am going to DNF this one as well. I'm not DNFing yellow. I am going to pick up another yellow book, but let me just explain why I'm DNFing this one. I am at least a third of the way through, and nothing has happened. Our main character, Lucy, is very boring for me. I'm not interested in her story at all. I'm actually a lot more interested in her best friend, Bridget. Her best friend is engaged, and her wedding is in 2 weeks, and she's run away from her wedding. So I am a lot more interested in her story, so I was kind of still reading to hope that maybe I'd get more of her. And so I flipped ahead to like page 250, and obviously I have not read any of this, so I don't actually know, but it seems as if we still don't know anything about Bridget's story and what's actually going on with her and the wedding, and it just seems like still nothing has happened. I might read this next summer or something like that, but for now I need to DNF it, otherwise I think it's gonna put me in a slump. So instead of reading This Summer Will Be Different, I want to read a different yellow romance book that has been on my TBR for a while that I think will be a 5-star read for me. And that is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I have honestly only heard 5-star reviews of this book. I see it on Instagram all the time. I see booktubers reviewing it, and I don't think I've seen anyone give it less than 5 stars. We're gonna read this one next. Hopefully it's good, and I will give an update when I'm more into the book. Okay, so it's been a minute since I've checked in, but I've actually finished the 7-Year Slip. I took this book on holiday with me and I didn't really have time to update and vlog about it. Yellow is done of the rainbow, and honestly, it wasn't that great, which makes me really sad to say that because I know a lot of people love this book. For me, this book is just an average 3 stars. I'd recommend it to people, definitely, but I wouldn't necessarily reread this, and I don't think I'll ever think about this book. So the premise was really cute, and the way it was set up where she's living in her aunt's apartment and she goes back in time and she meets this guy that she's starting to fall in love with, but he's from 7 years in the past, and I really liked that. I thought it was really cute. But then all of a sudden, halfway through, the storyline changes into being a lot more about her work than the romance, and that's what I really didn't like about this book. And then the romance basically died. I want to say about halfway through to maybe about this much of the book, there was no romance anymore. So that's why I'd say just 3 stars. I would still recommend it because obviously people are obsessed with this. People love the guy, which I don't understand why, but people love him, so I would recommend it. It was a fun story, but definitely not my favorite, and I probably won't ever read this again. So moving on to the color green for the rainbow, I picked up Nora Goes Off Script. I have already read this and I didn't get to vlog any of it because I was sick when I came back from my holiday and I'm not going to vlog when I'm sick. So I read the whole thing and this was even more disappointing than the yellow book. I just don't know what's going on with this challenge. Other than yours truly, every book I'm reading is so disappointing. Basically, this book is about a woman named Nora and she is a screenwriter and she's written a story based off of her ex-husband and turned it into a movie, and the actor playing her husband lives on her front yard, I think, for a few days for filming, and then he asks if he can stay with her for 7 days and he'll pay her for it. And so she agrees, but I thought the entirety of the book was going to be 7 days, when in actuality the 7 days ends around here. The entire 7 days goes by in the blink of an eye and nothing about it was memorable. There was not a single romantic thing in those 7 days. And then I won't explain what happens after the 7 days because obviously that's the rest of the book and I don't want to give spoilers, but it just didn't make any sense. I didn't understand the point. It wasn't romantic. This is either a 1 or 2 star book for me. It's literally just the miscommunication trope and it really wasn't necessary. The first half of this book, it really felt like some woman's diary where she was listing off every single thing they were doing every day. Like, I'm not kidding. It was literally like, oh, today we went here and did this, and then the next day we went and did this, and then I spoke to this person today and it was fantastic, and then we moved on to this, and it was just so weird. But anyway, we are just over halfway through the rainbow. This challenge is torturing me now. I kind of regret doing this challenge because I thought it'd be cute to read a bunch of romances with colors of the rainbow. Like, I thought it'd just be a fun little challenge for myself, and now it's forcing me to read books that I'm not enjoying. I don't know if that makes any sense to continue, but I am going to continue because I still think the challenge is kind of fun. So, moving on to blue, I have decided to pick up Funny Story by Emily Henry. I'm doing another video on this book called Giving My 1-Star Authors a Second Chance. So, by that title, I'm sure you can already assume I'm not the biggest fan of Emily Henry, but I do really want to read her new book. I am ready to give her another chance, and it's blue and it came out this year, and I think it's going to be a perfect read for the summer, so hopefully this goes well. Let's get to reading and let's try out Blue of the Rainbow. Okay, update for the blue book. I am 83 pages in and I'm actually really enjoying it, which is interesting. I feel like after having orange, yellow, and green fail, it's nice to read something that I'm liking. So this is promising. Hopefully the rest of the challenge will also be this good too. So far, blue is going well. Okay, time for an update. I am on page 219 of Funny Story and it's going well. Literally since the red book, Yours Truly, this is the first book that I'm actually enjoying and I'm excited to be getting through. So finally we found something. Obviously I'm only halfway through. I don't know how the rest of the book is going to turn out and how much I'm going to like it, but it's definitely more enjoyable than all the other colors in the rainbow except for red. So blue is going well and I will give more of an update later when I've read more. I will just say though, I'm really liking Miles. Like, this book is just so sweet at the moment and I'm really enjoying it. finished the book. Oh, it was such a good book to read for this rainbow challenge. My god. I have been struggling since book number 1 in this challenge, and finally we got one that was actually 4 stars-ish and above. I can't tell you how relieving it feels to actually have read another book that I genuinely enjoyed. Not just like, oh, it was okay, it was an average read. Like, no, I genuinely enjoyed this book and I'm so glad. I am gonna leave my final thoughts on this book in another video, but I will give my star rating here, and I actually think this is gonna be a 4.5 star for me. There's just a few things missing which would make it 5 stars for me, but it's definitely not looped in with my other 4-star reads. This is definitely a 4.5 star. So yeah, that's where I stand with this one. And so now we can move on to Indigo in the Rainbow. And for Indigo, I have decided to pick Love Interest by Claire Gilmore. So I've been really excited to read this book because Haley Pham hyped this up as like a 5-star read in one of her vlogs. And I have not heard a single other person talk about this. And personally, a lot of my 5-star reads are books that nobody hypes up. So I thought, why not give this one a chance? Let's see if it'll be a 5-star read for me. I don't know if it will be, but we'll see. So basically, this is a workplace romance between Casey and Alex. Casey applied for a job in her company that was like a higher up position than what she already has, but this guy got the job instead, and he is the board chairman's son. So there's a little bit of workplace rivalry, and they're forced to work on the same project together, so that's kind of where it's at. I've already started it and I am on page 133, and so far I am really enjoying it. I really like her writing style. At the moment, it feels like I'm reading into their lives a lot. Like, so far the workplace stuff is quite heavy, but not in a bad way. It's just very in your face that these two work together. I've read some other workplace romances before where the workplace stuff was kind of in the background and it wasn't important, but in this one it's definitely more prevalent and in your face. I'm hoping that we'll get more romantic stuff later, but right now it's cute. I'm really liking it and I'm quite impressed with her writing style. Alright, little update. I am almost done with this book. I've got 35 pages left, and so far I'm really enjoying this book. There are definitely some moments in here where I'm like, ooh, that's a 5-star moment, but there are some other things about the book that are making me think it's a 4-star, so I guess these last 35 pages will really let me know what I think. Her writing style is just incredible. I don't know if she has any other books, but I'm definitely going to be searching her books after this. But yeah, let's finish this off and see what the rating is going to be. It. Honestly, the ending was a bit of a letdown, which doesn't make this a bad book. I still thoroughly enjoyed it. I would recommend it, but the ending wasn't as cute or as romantic as I would have liked. I don't know, I feel like it could have been written slightly different and it would have been a lot better, but I don't know. I'm gonna hold off on my rating for now because I need to think. Like, I really thought those last 35 pages would make it easy for me to decide, but I don't know where I'm at right now. But I still enjoyed it. I will be back later with my rating and with my pick for the last book of this video. Okay, so we are back for the last book in this video for the color Violet, and I have chosen Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. Now, I know technically this isn't violet. I think for some people it's like pink, but the Barnes & Noble's exclusive edition is kind of metallic, and in a lot of lighting it looks very purple. I don't know if it's picking up purple on camera, but it's more purple in real life, at least to me, so I'm reading this one. So far I'm liking it. It's fun. I like the setup. I'm about this much of the way through it, and so I'm just going to keep reading and I'll give you guys an update once I've read a bit more. Okay, so it's been a couple of days and I'm back. I am on page 346 and I don't remember where I updated last time, but I know I've read quite a bit since then. So far, this book is very spicy. This is probably the spiciest romance I've read besides 50 Shades of Grey. Well, and maybe Haunting Adeline. That one was quite spicy too. So far with this book, it didn't start off crazy spicy. It was kind of like the story was building, you were getting some plot details, and then all of a sudden it's like spice is really mingled in with the plot. So far though, I'm actually really enjoying it. I was really scared that this was just going to be spice for no reason, but it very much has meaning to the character, if that makes sense. Like, obviously I'm sure half of the spice is just there to be spice, but it doesn't feel that way when you're reading it. Even some of the things that he says, it's like our main character Rue has a lot of trauma from her past, and in a way so does Eli, and for them they're both really comfortable not talking about their problems with other people, but they just kind of mention something and then have their spice scene, but it works really well in the book. Like, I've never read a relationship like this and I think it's working really well. Anyway, I have about 35 pages left. I'm just going to finish this now and see what my final thoughts are on this book, but it's definitely not what I was expecting, but in a fun way. Finished it! Oh my god. Wow. That was actually really good. I'm quite surprised. I really enjoyed this. Like, I'm kind of shocked. That epilogue was so cute. I love that epilogue. Honestly, this book was way more than just a spicy read, and I actually really enjoyed it. I love the story. I love the plot. I feel like if you finish this book and you feel like they don't really love each other, you're just focused on how much spice there was, then I feel like maybe you're missing the point of the story, because the spice is really important to how they fall in love, and it's how they get to know each other. And not that you need spice for that, but in their case that's what happened, and I loved the way it was put together. I loved how they got to know each other and how the story progressed and how the ending was. I'm gonna think on my rating for this for a bit, and then I will come back and we will go through everything that I've read in this video. Okay, this is really difficult to hold, but I did it! We finally read an entire rainbow of romance books for the summer. Okay, I'm gonna put these down and then we can go through them. So for the color red, I read Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This is actually the only 5-star read in today's video, which was very exciting starting this video out with a 5-star, but then it did make the rest kind of difficult to get through when none of them were 5 stars, but definitely my favorite read of the video. This book basically embodies everything I love in a romance. It had everything I wanted, the amount of depth in the story, the connection between the couple, how they fell in love, which I really liked, and just their relationship felt so unique and I felt like I could relate to a lot of things, and so I just really loved it. 5 stars. For Orange, it was unfortunately a DNF with Drunk on Love by Jasmine Guillory. I don't think this is a bad book. I didn't DNF it because I'm giving it a 1 star or anything like that. I just found that the writing style was very straightforward. It kind of felt more like your friend is just telling you about someone they're dating, but not in the way that I want it to be. It was very just, we did this, he said that, she said this. So I just wasn't in the mood for reading something like that. So that's Orange. So for Yellow, I did DNF again, and then I picked up another book. The first one that I tried was This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune, and again, the writing style just wasn't for me. I think I read about a third of that book and I just really didn't enjoy what I was reading, so I thought better to DNF it. And then I picked up The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I feel like maybe the issue for me with this book is that it was so hyped and loved by every single person on the internet, and so when I read it, it felt a little flat for me. I think my final rating for this one is just 3 stars. It was still a good book. I'd still recommend this. Like, if you want a very specific type of romance that's kind of like a literary fiction, I would recommend this to people, but I wasn't in love with it. I really loved the story in the beginning, but then midway through, it became so focused on the main character's job. And personally, I really don't like reading about a main character's job. It's the last thing I care about. And that's just me, that's a personal preference. And even all the way throughout the end, their relationship, it's connected to both of their careers and their jobs, and it just became exactly what I don't want out of a book. So still 3 stars, because I know a lot of people love reading about people's jobs, but not for me. For green, I read Nora Goes Off Script by Annabelle Monaghan. This book for me, okay, this was hilarious, but not in a good way. It was a very quick read, and I don't really even know what to say about the ending. Also, so this book is set up so that they fall in love over 7 days, and the whole book takes place longer than 7 days, which normally, like, I can't believe I'm complaining about that, but I kind of wanted the book to be 7 days and for them to fall in love in 7 days, which I know is a bit ridiculous and most people would not fall in love in 7 days, but that's what I wanted out of this story. I like to read romance because I want the story to feel romantic, and this didn't feel romantic. This was just like chaos in a book. So I'm giving this one 2 stars because it wasn't a complete disaster to where I'd give it a 1 star, but I can see why a lot of people would like this. It just wasn't for me. Okay, for blue, we had a very redeemable book, which is Funny Story by Emily Henry. I'm filming another video on giving my 1-star authors a second chance, and this did that for me. I'll probably have more of a thorough explanation on this book in that video, but basically, I really liked this book. This really surprised me. It basically had most things I'd want in a romance. It was so beautifully written. I loved the way their relationship was, how they started in such a funny situation, and I just thought it was so cute, so heartwarming. The end was a bit predictable. Like, I saw it coming. I was like, okay, this is how their relationship's going to work out, but it wasn't predictable in a bad way, because it's kind of like, of course this was what's going to happen. I wouldn't want the ending to be different. So I really liked it. I gave this one 4.5 stars. The reason I didn't give it 5 stars is because there were a lot of cute romantic scenes that just suddenly ended in a very abrupt way, and that was getting frustrating. As I was reading it, I was like, why isn't the scene continuing? Like, give me more. Why did we stop? So if those scenes were just longer, I would have given this 5 stars, but it was very close and I really enjoyed this one. Okay, for Indigo, we have Love Interest by Claire Gilmore, and I really liked this book too. This one surprised me. I don't know what it was, but her writing style just hooked me from the beginning. The beginning was just like nothing really happening, you know? You're getting introduced to characters and their workplace. This is a very heavy workplace romance. Be prepared for that kind of setting. Like, majority of the scenes happen at work, but I really liked it. I don't know why. The writing style of this book just hooked me, and I was like, this is incredible. I love this. I gave this one 4 stars. I'm not sure why I didn't give it 5 stars. You know, when you have that 5-star feeling? Unfortunately, I didn't have that with this book, but I really enjoyed it. And the guy, I really like the guy in this book. And then for Violet, the last book in this video was Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. This really took me by surprise. Like, I genuinely love this book, and I'm shocked that it has so many negative reviews. So I know a lot of people are criticizing this book for how spicy it is. Even in the beginning, there's a note from Ali Hazelwood saying this is spicier than her regular books. But this book has a lot of serious topics in it, a lot of trauma, and I just love the way it was written. Rue herself really misunderstands her emotions, and she's very aware of it. She knows that she's socially awkward. She knows that she doesn't know how to process things, and so she really has to take her time with it. And I feel like that's the same with some of the trauma she's been through. Maybe it's left like a lingering effect on her. I don't know what it is, but when you're reading it, I feel like you really understand that for her, she can't just be in a happy relationship. I don't know, I just feel like the way her character was written, I really understood what she was going through. Even though I've not been in her situation, I haven't experienced the trauma that she has, it really made sense. And so her actions and the way this book was so spicy made a lot of sense. And I really liked it, especially the ending. I really liked the ending. I think my final rating for this book is going to be 4 stars, at least for now. Maybe it'll change. I need to see how often I think about this book. But for now, it's 4 stars. I really enjoyed it and I would recommend. But obviously, if you don't like spice, maybe don't read it. So that is it. That is our entire rainbow of romance books for the summer. Let me know what you think of this challenge and if you would do something like this. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll be notified about more content from me. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!